Meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, honorable city council members, to our city attorney, to our chief of staff, to the administrative staff in the audience, those that are attending this evening, and to those who are viewing tonight's broadcast via YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card, which is located on the table in the back of the chambers, and hand it to me before that part of the agenda. And at this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barden.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
And Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you.
Tonight's regular council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. 3, petitioner. 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6, clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, warrant. 12, communication. And number 13, adjournment. And a motion will be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
The motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. 2 minutes. Agenda item 2A, for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting held on Monday, October 28, 2024, at 7:30 p.m.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to move that we approve the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on October 28th at 7:30.
I second that motion.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from our regular meeting held on Monday, October 28th, at 7:30 p.m. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
There were no special meetings that were held on Monday, October 28th. There are no petitioners on the agenda. It takes us to number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The chair has no report tonight.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
I second that motion.
Been motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 5 is the mayor's report, and presenting the mayor's report this evening is our chief of staff, Julie Waitoko. And also, Ms. Waitoko, we do have a request from the audience to speak under agenda item 5C under the mayor's report, when you get to that agenda item.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, and good evening, City Council, to those in the audience and the viewing audience at home. Before I get into the mayor's report this evening, we're going to start with an update on upcoming events from our own Vanessa Tolliver from the mayor's office.
is Wednesday, November 13th at 5 p.m. and will be held at the Romulus VFW Post 78. The Romulus Ministerial Alliance invites everyone to the 2024 Annual Community Thanksgiving Service on November 20th at Resilient Nation Church beginning at 6 p.m. The 7th Annual Gobble Wobble Turkey Trot will take place on Friday, November 22nd from Artesian Reserve to Walters Bar. Check-in starts at 5 p.m. and trotting will begin at 5:30. There's plenty of parking available at Walters Bar with shuttle services and there to Artesian Reserve. Holiday turkey attire is encouraged. Proceeds benefit Romulus Goodfellows. The CP Holiday Train will once again pass through Romulus on the evening of Monday, November 25th. There are a number of great viewing locations to view the train from throughout Romulus. Santa will officially come to Romulus on Friday, November 29th, as we light the official Christmas tree in our district to kick off the holiday season. The event will begin at 5 p.m. with the kids' activity tent, food, hot chocolate, carriage rides, holiday vendors, and Christmas carolers. We will light the tree at 6 p.m. and Santa will be presented with the key to the city. Pictures with Santa will be available following the tree lighting. Join the Romulus Recreation Department for a magical morning of quality time with Santa at Brunch with Santa. The event will take place on Saturday, December 7th from 10:30 to 12 p.m. at the Romulus Athletics Center. The cost is $14 per child and includes brunch, story time, photo with Santa, and a special holiday craft. Adults may also enjoy brunch for $6 each. Tickets are limited and this event will sell out soon. This year, Romulus will once again participate in Reefs Across America. The ceremony will take place on Saturday, December 14th at 12 p.m. at the Romulus Memorial Cemetery. Volunteers are also needed on the day of the event. Additionally, if you or someone you know is an active duty service member or a veteran of the armed services and is interested in participating, please contact Community Development Office for more information at 734-942-7545. Reminder, yard waste will be collected through the second full week of December. Thanks everyone, and remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube and or visit our website page for more information. Have yourself a great night.
Thank you, Vanessa. Before I get into the mayor's report, just wanted to mention a couple quick things. We had a lot of exciting football activity from Romulus this weekend. Our Romulus Flyers, all three teams made it into the Peanut Bowl Championship. And I'm proud to report back that the JV team and also the varsity Flyers football team are the district champions. So, of the Peanut Bowl champs. So that's exciting. We'll try to get the kiddos in here at some point with council in the near future. And then also our Romulus Eagles, they made it to the district championships against Gabriel Richard, and unfortunately they came up a little short, but we're very, very proud of them. They had a great season, and just a lot to be proud of in Romulus, and I'm sure we'll mention the Lions in a little while, so I'll leave that one for you, Mr. Barton. So.
I wonder who gonna mention that.
And then also, I know the city clerk is going to talk about the election, but just Mayor wanted to make sure that we just express just how proud we are of our city clerk and her amazing team. It was a flurry around here. They just worked and worked and worked and smiles on their faces. And I think my favorite story is that when the Secretary of State and our own county exec showed up here to visit our early voting site, our city clerk was vacuuming the floor. And that's what she does. She does all jobs. So, but we'll let her talk about her election process under her report. So with that, I'll get into the mayor's report. The first item we have this evening, item 5A, is a request for the fiscal year 24-25 municipal credit and community credit for the SMART contract. And the request, with your concurrence, would be to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the agreements for the community credit program and local transit program between SMART and the city of Romulus for the fiscal year 2024 and 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached agreements for the community credit program and the local transit program.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. for fiscal year 24-25, municipal credit and community credit. Any discussion? Here, no discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. Item 5B is a request for a resolution for retiree health care cost sharing for non-Medicare eligible retirees. And with your concurrence, it would be to adopt the attached resolution for cost sharing for non-Medicare eligible retiree health care benefits beginning January 1st, 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with administration and adopt the attached resolution for cost sharing for non-Medicare eligible retiree health care benefits beginning January 1st, 2025.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for a resolution for retirees' health care cost sharing for non-medical Medicare eligibility required. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion? Oh, one discussion, Ms. Williams?
Yes, through the chair,
Yep.
Mayor, Chief of Staff, can you have Kevin to come up and just explain what we're voting on?
Absolutely. Mr. Lozen, can you come up for just a minute?
Through the chair, I'm Kevin Wilson, HR Director. You're voting for non-Medicare eligible retirees, those who generally retired before 2019 and are not under the hard cap rule that was imposed back then, to contribute 10% toward the overall premium for healthcare annually. Not sure how else to explain about
That's, I just wanted, because, you know, anytime you're talking about healthcare increasing anything, you know, people would like to know what we're voting on, so, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. Madam Clerk, I will read the item into the record, and then we can have discussion on that item. Is that okay?
Okay.
Is that fine? Okay, so item 5C is a request for approval for the Mayor and Clerk to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Wayne County Airport Authority. And that would be to empower them to conduct traffic enforcement under the MVC and UTC as applicable pursuant to the City of Romulus Code of Ordinances on roads in proximity to the airport and listed in the agreement. And we did have someone that wanted to speak on this item.
Yes, Chief of Staff, we have Tony Heinberger has requested to speak on this agenda item.
Good evening, Tony Heimer. I read this item, and there's several questions that I have on this. First off, with them having the authority to do this, is it gonna free up one of our officers? How much of the ticket are we actually gonna receive, percentage-wise? Is Wayne County still gonna receive a portion of the money since it is?
What thing, the ordinance, I just got a text, the ordinance can't hear at home. They can't hear.
Again.
Okay. Thank you.
Where was I at? Oh, does the county get its percentage? I mean, if this is gonna free up one of our officers, and if they're gonna have a set time that they are patrolling this area, this is information that we should know about. Not just when you have a chance, or you're not eating a donut, or whatever. We need to know more information on this item before we do anything. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wadsworth?
If I can, and I worked at the airport, we were writing tickets. The only thing that this is going to do, that the airport police, when they write a ticket, will no longer write under state law. They will write it under Romulus local ordinance, which means it will get a bigger piece of the pie.
Miss-
And I got the chiefs out there if he wants to Correct me or?
Ms. Williams, then the chief.
Yes.
Ms.
And
Williams?
I spoke with the chief earlier. My concern is, okay, I understand that Romulus will be getting a bigger piece of the pie, but throughout this document, it never said what percentage. So I understand it's a bigger piece of the pie. We're getting ready to agree to, this agreement, but what part do, Wayne County still get, or the airport authority, and what portion will Romulus get? Can the chief answer that?
Chief, can you address some of these questions?
I hope so. Good evening,
Good
Council.
evening, chief.
So it's a pretty complex formula that they use. If you Google it, you'll see that the money goes all over the place and there's all sorts of different funds set aside. But when they write it under the state, almost no money comes to the city. When they write it under local ordinance, we get the bulk of it. So the court takes a piece and then the rest goes to the city and the various places they have it assigned. But right now, when they only can write it under state, it doesn't come to the city, other than the portion the court can take for itself for costs.
So do you have, what I'm saying is that number, like the percentage of what the court can get and then what comes to the city?
Well, right now, it's basically zero if they write it under state, so this just gives them the ability to write it under local. I would have to do some research. I'm not an expert on how the state divides up the money or how they pass that, because there's all sorts of little pieces being taken out of it.
I was just, I looked through it thoroughly, and I just seen nowhere in the,
Another way to look at it is we will get exactly the same amount we would get if a Romulus officer had written that ticket.
what I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, I understand what the chief said, but you would think in this document, it would say what percentage. I mean, if Romulus would get it, what percentage of the ticket do Romulus get writing the ticket for Romulus? See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
much go to the court, and Romulus gets so much.
And the amount that goes to the court goes to other entities, like the library is one of the beneficiaries of it. And there's, I think, maybe the state, county or state pension fund, maybe. There's some other statutory pieces that get taken off of the total amount. That happens whether we write the ticket or we have this situation where the ticket's being written by an airport police officer. But, and I'm not even sure offhand without checking it, that the amount is the same in every ticket, the percentage, because it depends on whether it's a traffic civil infraction or whether it's some other offense.
Right, and you have every last one of those that you just mentioned, traffic, civil infraction. You have all those included in this document, but it's no percentage of what we would get. My concern is also, this is for 7 years, am I correct?
Well, it can be revoked at any time by either party.
By any party. But in actuality, this document, if we vote on it tonight, is for 7 years.
If you don't revoke it.
So will Romulus have the authority to still write tickets in these areas?
Yes.
Yes, it doesn't take
Yes.
anything away from us. It just, they don't have the ability presently to do it. It just gives them the ability. Most jurisdictions that are next to each other, so for example, if you're on Hannon Road, a Romulus officer or a Van Buren officer could write that ticket. They did not have the authority to do that without this MOU.
Okay. And what I did like in here that the tickets, all tickets wrote in that area, even by the Wayne County Airport Authority, still have to come through the 34th District Court.
It's exactly as if a Romulus police officer had written it.
I like that. So, but my concern, like I said, in all of this document, I didn't see what percentage we'll be gaining to actually agree to this.
Okay. We can probably come up with that.
I mean, that would be helpful
Give it
because
to you
you're
in a memo
talking,
later, sure.
you're talking
I could
about,
probably research that and send it to you. Like I said, we're going from 0 to something.
Take something.
And I can
and
send you
I,
that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that we're going after something that we wasn't getting in originally. I appreciate that. But once you sign a document, you want to make sure that you hold the other individuals accountable to what percentage we're getting, because things change. And you said, well, that wasn't in the agreement. So as long as we're clear with the airport authority that we do get that, whatever the percentage is, I'm okay with it, you know, but I just, you know, normally when you get a document like this, you see some kind of numbers of what you're benefiting, that's all I'm saying.
It's not within the law enforcement's authority on how that gets divided up. That's outside of our hands. So I think that's why some of that information wasn't contained in there, because that's actually by statute and other provisions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could just make a quick comment. I worked there from 1983 to 2005, and I had brought this up to Mayor McAnally, to Mayor Oakley, and both of them went to the airport telling them that we wanted the tickets written under Romulus codes, and the airport wanted nothing to do with that. So this is really a win-win finally, you know, 30 years later, but it's a win.
Mr. Wilson?
Thank you. Just curious.
Pardon me,
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't,
sorry. Would you finish?
I didn't mean that Mayor McAnally or Mayor Oakley wanted nothing to do with it. They went to the airport, the airport wanted nothing to do with it. I don't want to insult our last two mayors. They made an effort to have it switched over, but it didn't work.
Mr. Wilson?
So what appears to be the impediment? What is the impediment to presenting us with a complete document? I mean, with the percentages? I mean, before you bring it to us for a vote, wouldn't that sort of make it easier for us to kind of determine if this is, and I know we're getting zero now, but it appears to me as though if you get a traffic ticket for $200, does the city get 10% of that? Do we get 25%? Do we get 50%? I mean, it's just, to me, it's sort of confounding because we don't have an actual number before you bring it before us. Is there a reason why that can't be? Is there a reason? I mean, I'm just curious.
I don't think there's any reason why we can't get that to you, yes.
So-
We'd have to ask the court to add up all the fees that come off of that, to come up with the percentage that actually goes to Romulus.
Sure. So in essence, haste makes waste. How come we didn't have this prior to coming before the council? Again, I'm just curious.
It never, at least with my participation, it never dawned on me to do that, because I knew it was exactly what we're getting right now, so, for tickets that we write, so.
Well, I appreciate your high level of personal integrity. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion from council? Or if not, we need a motion on this.
I'll make the,
Go ahead.
go ahead, John.
Just moving forward, the chief said that he will make sure that we will get that moving forward to go along with this, because to say yes tonight and then something different down the road, that's what I was concerned of.
Absolutely.
I would have just liked to see the numbers
Right.
of what Romulus is gonna benefit from.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay,
Go
we
ahead,
need a
Bill.
motion? Oh.
If I can, I'm gonna move that we approve the memorandum of understanding with Wayne County Airport Authority, and it involves the writing of traffic tickets.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for memorandum of understanding with the Wayne County Airport Authority. With no other discussion, roll call.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Discussion?
Chief, I just want to thank you for getting it to this point where we got a memorandum of understanding for us. I think it's complete. I thank you for that we're going from zero to something, and that we're at a point where we got the airport authority out there working on behalf, and we get the money. So thank you for your hard work on this, getting it to this point for us to vote on it, and thank you, Mr. Barton.
Okay, Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yeah, I think we can give them a shot on this. Thank you. Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, council. The next item, item 5D, and you did get a revised memo that I left at your chairs today for 5D. The request is to approve change order number 1 for the Goddard Park Plaza improvements, RFP 2425-02. And the request with your concurrence would be to approve this change order for additional concrete work within the city of Romulus Goddard Park Plaza for improvements as outlined in change order number 1 in the amount of $77,825.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and approve change order number 1 to RFP 24/25-02 for additional concrete work within the city of Romulus Goddard Park Plaza for improvements as outlined in change order number 1 in the amount of $77,825.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley. Request to approve change order number 1 for Goddard Road Park Plaza improvements. RFP 24/25-02. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, council. And item 5E is the 2024 tree lighting and approvals and fees. With council's concurrence, we're requesting that you authorize a no-fee permit for all 2024 tree lighting activities on Friday, November 29th, 2024, as well as the closure of Hunt Street between Goddard Road and Bivens beginning at 3 o'clock and reopening at 9 p.m.
Through the chair, I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and authorize the no-fee permit at all 2024 tree lighting activities on November 29th, as well as the closure of Hunt Street between Goddard and Bivens.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for the 2024 tree lighting fees. Any discussion? Ms. Williams?
Through the chair, I was gonna say mayor again, chief of staff, is this the night the train is coming through?
Unfortunately, no. You know, we have no control over when the
Okay.
train is going through, and it's actually on a Monday evening when we have a council meeting. So we have been advertising it, and I think all of our train lovers that follow that will definitely be out to view it. But we just never know when it's going to go through. So.
Okay, and I was just asking because I know you're asking for it to be from 3 to 9, and I was like, sometimes the train comes beyond that, so.
Right.
That's why I asked that
Right.
question.
Yep. Totally separate night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, if there's no other discussion, Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, council, and that will conclude the mayor's report this evening.
Thank you, Chief of Staff.
Number 6 is the clerk's report. I have 2 action items, so we'll take care of that before I comment on the election. 6A, this is a special meeting request. Julie Albert, Director of Assessing and Financial Services, is requesting a 15-minute special meeting public hearing for Monday, November 25th, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. And this is to hear comments and/or objections from taxpayers on establishing a street lighting special assessment district for Smith, Wick, and Binding Roads. The date and time are available for this request.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make that motion for special meeting for the public hearing request for Monday, November 25th, 2024 at 7 p.m. in regards to the street lighting special assessment district for Smith, Wick, and Binding Roads.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for a special meeting public hearing request for Monday, November the 25th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Any discussion? No discussion. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, council. last action item is 6B, reappointments to the Romulus Board of Review. It is requested that council concur with the recommendation of the Executive Advisory Committee and reappoint Deborah Hoffman and Shirley Lamberson to the Romulus Board of Review with the term to commence on January 1st, 2025 and expire on December 31st, 2026 in accordance with MCL 211.28.
Through the chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make the motion that we reappoint Deborah Hoffman and Shirley Lamberson to the Romulus Board of Review with a term to commence on January 1st, 2025 and expire on December 31st, 2026.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Williams, for reappointments to the Romulus Board of Review. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you, City Council. Before I close out my report, I have a lot of thank yous and acknowledgments that I'd like to make at this time. You know, it's a busy election for not just the state of Michigan, for our entire country. But I first would like to thank all of the 12,791 residents who came out and voted here in Romulus. Very busy with early voting, absentee voting, election day. It's like 15 days of an election, just like every day. I just want to thank everyone who came out and took part and took advantage of all the opportunities to cast a ballot for their voice to be heard. So thank you. Next, I would like to just thank my amazing team, Jessica, Rainey, Dejan, Ann, and Sean. Couldn't have gotten through this without them. They're phenomenal, and I feel very fortunate to have them as part of the clerk's office team. Next, I'd like to thank you, City Council, for your support. We actually had Councilwoman Williams work in the election and Councilwoman Talley that actually worked in the election. Councilwoman Abdo is always so faithful to provide her famous chocolate chip cookies. So, but all of you at one point, you know, were offering support and just I would love to, you know, I just want to say thank you. It's an honor, you know, to do this, but we need your support, and I just want to say thank you. And I don't know, I know Councilwoman Williams, she worked early voting. She said that'll be, she just wanted to see what it was, what it was about. But it was a lot of work. Councilwoman Talley on the receiving board. So again, thank you all. To our incredible Chief of Staff, the Mayor in his absence, and to your entire staff and administration. And even to our city attorney who, when we had legal questions that I got to bug him or text him and say, Steve, what is this? Thank you so much for your support. It means so much. Certainly it takes a team in order to have, successful elections, secure elections, so that everybody will feel confident and trust the process, the democratic process here when casting their ballot. So I want to say thank you. Next, I
Ms.
would,
Williams, what is this?
pardon?
You know I had to tell this. Through the chair.
Yes.
I've never, ever, as long as I've worked elections, worked inside. And I've heard a lot of stories, oh, they cheat, oh, it's not fair. I worked from coming through that door all the way till the individual went to that booth. That individual is tracked. That they're given a number when they come in. All the way till they go to the booth, they got that same number, and it's tracked. Every person is tracking that individual. I've watched it, I've seen it, I took part in it. And so I can truly say, and that's what I told our clerk, that I wanted to be able to tell people, because I couldn't do it before, how fair and how pure that election was. Our process anyway, I can speak of. And so, as I said goodbye on the last day, I said I'll never do it again. Because it was like being in school. You could have asked to go to the bathroom. Somebody had to relieve you. Because those posts were important that somebody was there. You go to lunch, you get a break. I wasn't used to that. I was used to moving around as I chose to, but I'm telling you, the clerk and the deputy clerk and Ann and Sean and just the other ones, they were on top of it all 3 days. And I can truly say, and I wanted to be able to say that from my own mouth. And I was telling people as they came to vote on election day, how I experienced the election process. And so I give thanks to the clerk and all of her workers and of the tedious process that they have to go through to make sure every T is crossed and every I is dotted. And so thank you, clerk, for allowing me to experience that. But God bless you and the work that you do, but it's not for me. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations for the clerk and her team.
Yeah.
You guys do a tremendous job, and thank you, council, who worked on this election also. Just proud of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, council. Few more acknowledgements. We were fortunate to have some of our high school students participate and work the election, and they were awesome. They were awesome students, and so we'll be acknowledging them and sending acknowledgements to the school, to the high school, and to our superintendent to acknowledge those students. Bubby's providing lunches and food for the early voting on election day, and just a lot of long hours that were put in and invested with preparing this election. And we were very fortunate to have visitors from our Secretary of State, Benson, and our Wayne County Executive, Warren Evans. The fact that they took the time to come out and see our early voting setup, and they were very complimentary.
Yes,
and very supportive of of our setup for early voting. So we appreciate that. We also had a visitor with our state senator, Darren Camilleri. He came out, and so it was very encouraging to all of our election inspectors. We hired a little over 120 inspectors, through this whole process, and so many of them worked early voting all the way into, election day. For our amazing AV counting board who came here, we took advantage of the early processing, and so they were here 3 days, and so just want to say thank you. And to all of the administrative staff, the team, those that city workers who actually worked in the election. So it means a lot. DPW, to our technology services. Again, I cannot say thank you enough just for the support. And it took all of us to get through this election. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
All right. There is no treasurer's report, and so it takes us to public comment. This is the portion on the agenda for those who are in the audience and who would like to address the city council. The rules to address the city council can be found on the back of your meeting agenda. To address city council, raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note, members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first, and you will have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Mr. Chair and Council, I have one written request, then I do also have a verbal request. Mr. Miller had asked to speak as well, so we'll first call on Mr. Heimberger.
Okay.
Good evening, Tony Heimer here on River Drive. I would like to get an update on what is going on with the police blog. It has now been a couple months. What are we doing? All of you said it was a great idea. It's time to implement this and get it on our city website, which would not cost us really anything. The next item, you're going to be approving a warrant. Can anybody tell me why there's 195 voided checks on that warrant? That's something you should be asking.
Through the chair, if I can. Mr. Heimberger,
Yes.
did you have any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, then I'll be happy to respond if that's okay, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
So as far as the police blog, we had assured you that after the accreditation process was done, that they were going to be getting that up on the website, and I know they've been working with Chandler to get that information. There was kind of some revamping with what we call their monthly, report scorecard that we get, and so you should be seeing that shortly. So, and we had addressed that with a council meeting, I think, maybe 1 or 2 meetings ago. So, that was when that was going to be happening. So, you'll see it shortly. And they asked for the voided checks. Completely honest, technology, the checks got jammed in the machine, and the only way it could be done was to rerun all of them. Trust me, our financial services team is exceptionally busy. They were not happy about it either. But these things happen, and council just recently approved for us to get new printers, and thank God, because we need them. That's what happened.
Okay, it was just the weird seeing.
Yeah, they weren't happy about it either, so, yeah, that's why.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
And just to say, to the chief of staff, I did look through the basket, and I seen where the, checks was voided out, and it was actually an actual item and not just, on this paper, so.
Right,
I did
exactly.
check that myself.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we had, again, a verbal request to speak from Mr. Miller. He just didn't get the card in, but he didn't get the card in, but he did request to speak. Mr. Miller.
Okay. Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
It's Miller time.
I wish it was.
Miller time.
Good evening, Charles Miller here. I've lived in the city of Romulus for 79 years. I'm now 81 years old. Today I received information that our current superintendent intends to ask in a May election for a $177 million bond. This is the document. There's 19 pages here. This document took quite some time to develop because it's very large. We live in a community of high taxes partially because we are out of formula in this district. A community of elderly pensioners, single-parent homeowners, struggling in low-income residents, older folks, just trying to maintain an independent lifestyle. The citizens of Romulus have just endured 12 years of some of the worst financial times, hardships, I would say, many of them in their very young lives. Not to mention us older folks, who I am one of those pensioners. Now you want to strap our citizens, and I use that term, strap, by intention, with an outrageous and what I consider an irresponsible bond debt. Not only do children need education, they must be fed and clothed, cared for, provided with all the things that are necessary for a healthy young life. But with the burden of unrealistic taxes, you are actually doing harm to the very ones you claim you're trying to help. Not like the salary the school board so generously awarded this current superintendent. This lengthy document was set in motion by the current school board. They gave approval. The outcome of a $177 million tax burden in the form of a bond. Don't be fooled. This, sir,
Go ahead,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Miller.
This is not a renewal. This is a new bond. It is more than the previous bond. Folks, don't believe the hype. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Williams,
That was the last written.
that was the last written.
To the clerk, is the city aware of a village being on the ballot for the school?
I just heard rumor that the school may, have an election in May. We don't know anything yet. We don't know, nothing's come through our office, so I just kind of heard rumor that they
When
may
it
be
come through,
bringing
can
that.
you make sure you let the council know? I'm sure the administration too.
It has to come through you all to
Okay.
approve it, because it's an election, it would be a special election. So we go through the Elections Commission, and we'd have to bring it to you all anyway to have for approval for the special election.
So who would pay for that if it was approved?
The schools would pay for it. We would have to submit for them to reimburse us, to reimburse the city for whatever. There's certain expenditures that's reimbursable for elections, if the schools have, request an election. So, and that's how it is. It's always been that way. If the schools, have an election, request an election, then we would submit for reimbursement for our out-of-pocket expenses. There's certain things that's, again, allowed for reimbursement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just like to ask Mr. Miller, if you don't mind, could I see that document before you leave?
This document?
Yeah, once you leave, once the meeting is over.
Okay. Or I can approach if you like.
No, I'll wait till the meeting is
Okay,
over.
fine.
Any other comments from the audience? If there's no other comments from the audience, Madam Clerk, we'll close that out.
All right. Number 9 is unfinished business. Mr. Chair, too, I just want to say, nothing's written in stone until it goes through all the process, the approvals, the paperwork. It's got to go through the county, the language has to be approved, and so it's not just them saying, okay, we're going to do this, and it happens. So there is a process before, there is an election, and as far as the ballot language, has to be approved first.
So what I've heard is that the school board approved it. So once they approve it, then it has to come to council.
Yeah, they have to request the election. You have to request the election. So there's a whole process. You will know. Once we know, then you will know. Yeah, but like I said, I just kind of heard rumor, but I'm still in this election right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't think that far ahead.
Thank you.
If there's no more unfinished business, number 10 is new business. Number 11 for approval is warrant 2421.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we pay warrant 24-21 in the following amounts. General Fund, $107,779.69. Major Street Fund, $3,288. Local Street Fund, $7,425.43. Public Safety Fund, $31,567.51. Cable TV, $71.26. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $287,254.66. Tax Increment Finance Authority, $1,663,101.56. Downtown Development Authority, $74,117.81. 911 Service Fund, $33,692.76. Drug Law Enforcement Fund, $433.25. Law Enforcement Federal, $52,004. Library Fund, $7,569.84. Water and Sewer Fund, $814,584.47. Motor Vehicle, $126,016.58. Technology Fund, $20,119.10. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $4,985.23. Revolving fund, $44,770. General tax fund, $6,650. Tax, our current tax, $2,370.54. Impressed payroll fund, $349.38. Totaling all fund, $3,288,151.07.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 24-21 for $3,288,151.07. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved. Thank you.
Number 12, communication.
Through the chair.
Oh, Ms. Abdo?
I just want to make an announcement that the Rotary has started their annual Coats for Kids drive. We are looking for new or gently used children's coats to be put in the drop boxes we have around the city. There's a drop box at the rack, the library, here at City Hall, Sheets, the Romulus House, and Public Service Credit Union. We appreciate any and all donations. We give these back to the kids in Romulus, and they are definitely needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Abdo. Mr. Wadsworth?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna be quick. Thanksgiving will be here in a couple of weeks, and, it's Helping Hands is always looking for people to donate either, turkeys or hams. I'm gonna donate a couple myself, so think about them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth.
Question, Mr. Wadsworth, when do they want us to drop off the turkeys?
As soon as you can, but it's Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and they're open.
So I can drop mine off any of those times,
Yeah,
there's
sure.
somebody there? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Talley?
Okay, thank you. Just a couple announcements. The Romulus Police Department does a couple of great events every year for the last several years, as far as I know. They're doing the Thanksgiving food drive. They are collecting canned goods and non-perishable items to support families in need during this holiday season. I think they're getting boxes out as well. I don't know if, Julie, if they talked to you about having one at the city hall, a canned food box. I'm not sure if you may have heard about it or not, but probably looking for here to have a box here, at the rack and at the library, and then, of course, at the police department. So looking for canned vegetables, canned fruits, canned soup, boxed stuffing, instant mashed potatoes, rice and pasta, cranberry sauce, gravy, dried beans, cooking and baking mixes. So please, if you could, just support the Romulus Police Department in this initiative that they've done at least, I don't know how many years, but I know for the last several years. And like I said, the drop boxes at the rack, libraries, City Hall, I think, and I don't know if they've reached out yet, but City Hall and the Police Department definitely are sites for donations, if we can support in that. And just as a heads up, Kroger is donating turkeys for these baskets. So I want to shout out to Kroger's for their generous donation of turkeys for this Thanksgiving food drive. And then the other event that the police do is Shop with a Cop. So more information will be coming out next week. We'll need families to submit for, look for the application to fill out for Shop with a Cop. A very great time for kids that are selected to shop with a cop. A very good time from what I've heard. I've not done it myself. Looking forward to maybe doing it this year, but let's keep that in mind. That information and application will be out next week. So look for that, Shop with a Cop with the Romulus Police Department. And I want to thank Vanessa for the shout out for the Ministerial Alliance Annual Thanksgiving Worship Service, which will be at Resilient Nation Church a week from this Wednesday, the 20th at 6 p.m. And she did have the information on the flyer on the monitor. So hope to see people come out. It is a great time of Thanksgiving and praise. So come out and support the Romulus Ministerial Alliance in this service a week from this Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Resilient Nation Church. It's on eCourse. I don't have the address right on me, but the City Hall has the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Towers. Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would like to just remind the residents that Forgotten Harvest, November the 19th, from 10, we started the line at 10 and we cut it off at 12 o'clock. But also, Tuesday, December the 17th, what we decided to do, this year will make the 5th year, is to consider the residents that's in need on Christmas. So we give out the complete dinner. This year, we're looking to do 400 dinners to the Romulus residents. If anyone is having transportation problems or issues getting to the high school where we do the distribution for the Christmas dinners, please feel free to contact me at 734-673-8396, or either contact the mayor's office and they'll take the information down. Again, that day for the Christmas dinners, complete Christmas dinners, is December the 17th, and it's strictly for the Romulus residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other communication before I start?
Just a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Ms. Williams, will that still be at the high school? And-
Yes. It'll be at the high school doing Forgotten Harvest. The difference is Forgotten Harvest will still distribute whatever they send for that day. But the Citizens for Social Change will be at the end of that line, and we'll be asking for ID, so you can't say you live in Romulus and can't prove it. And we'll hand you the turkey and the box that's full of all the items to make a complete meal at the end of that line on that day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question for
Go
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
What is the, how many turkeys do you have? How many meals?
400. We're
400?
400 this year.
So-
Last year we did 350.
Okay, great, okay. First come, first served, right?
Yes, for sure. Well, other than
Okay.
those that are having transportation issues, because
Okay.
we have a lot of residents that can't get out.
So you'll deliver them?
Yes, we will.
Okay, great.
Yes,
Okay, great. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay. First of all, again, congratulations to the Eagles of Romulus for a great season.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd like to say thank you, Chief of Staff, for exposing me what I'm going to do. Mr. Miller, I know you out there. This is for you too. Yeah, and the Lions are 8-1,
Yeah.
and let's give them a hand.
All right, all right.
You know, a lot of people, when the Lions was 0-16, I always was with them, right?
That is true.
Even Roscoe gave me a shirt and felt sorry for me, crying over there. I said, that's okay. We're gonna come back. Everybody had been real nice, but I just like to say, always keep faith in your team, and I'm always gonna keep faith in Romulus and the team of the Detroit Lions. And I'm just so proud and so happy. I went to bed that night and woke up and they had won. So they told me, maybe you should go to bed all the time when they lose. Okay. So thank you, everybody, and that's all I have to say. Thank you, and thank you, Romulus, and thank everybody
Yes.
for the Lions. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, all right. All right,
If
well said.
there's no more communication, number 13 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.